This is the month of Ramadan. So Muslims fast. They don't eat anything from sunrise to sunset. And it's a very interesting thing when you fast. First, it's very difficult to fast alone. You live in a house where your mom fasts, your dad fasts. So you would all wake up at 3 in the morning and you would kind of put on this kind of music. And then you would have tea and then bread and then food. And then you would drink a cup of water and go to bed. And depending on how religious you were, you would either pray or before going to bed or not. And then you go to the car wash and you wash cars. And it's hot. Temperature is like 110, but you don't drink and you don't eat. And you're really, really exhausted physically. And most of the desires that kind of you entertain on a daily basis and they occupy your time and distract you from many things, they're no longer there. Because to imagine things, to have desires, to have hope, to have dreams, they need energy. Your belly needs to be full. So your brain can kind of work a little bit. But when there is nothing in your stomach, you're physically tired, which also impacts the way you think about things, which is you don't think. And then you would close the car wash, you would go home, you would try to take a nap, so, because what are you going to do? You're tired. You don't have the energy to talk, you don't have the energy to do anything. And you have to wait another hour and a half, 2 hours for the sun to set so you could break your fast. So you would sleep, and then you would wake up about 15-20 minutes before breaking the fast. And your mom has this music on. And when you have no food inside you, especially during this month, your mood is very down. In some ways you could say you're sad and you're depressed, depending again on your background a little. And since we were working with Hussein a little bit, we were always sad. There was this feeling of homelessness and homesickness that all of us had. And so as we were sitting just moments before breaking our fast, drinking some tea and dates and bread and cheese and then, the main course, you had the surge of all these interesting emotions inside you. That I haven't eaten. I am doing this for this reason and for that reason. And there are also other people you see in the room, and they're all also, working and walking towards the same path. They want the same things. And of course the music kind of makes it worse because it makes you even more sad. And then you eat your food very slowly, initially. And then once your belly gets full a little bit, once it has some food, then you become a little wild. You eat faster, you talk more, you have more energy, you throw out some jokes here. And then there comes a point where you kind of catch yourself and you say, it would have been much better if I just continued my fasting, because I wouldn't say all these ridiculous, stupid things. I wouldn't be eating like a pig. My mood would continue to remain sad as opposed to happy. If you have an intense emotion inside you and it's making you think and it makes you feel deeply, intensely, and if you know how to work with those emotions, those feelings and those thoughts, if you can protect them, encourage them, make them even blossom more, where they kind of break you from the inside, and that breakage inspire even more sorrow inside you, more intensity inside you, and that'll help you perhaps get in your car, drive to the nearest church or the synagogue, or sit next to the water and close your eyes and cry or pray, ask for help. If you have those tools inside you, it's best to keep your mouth shut. Allow the emotions or the feelings to get cooked really, really well. Because every time you release pressure, you delay the cooking time. Now you have to be made very tough to allow this pressure to just get built up inside you. Most of us don't have that capacity because you're basically giving yourself a green light to further abuse yourself. You want to talk about this, but you say no. You want to express your feelings, your emotions in some shape or form, but you abstain from it, you fast from it. And if you can kind of be okay under the pressure without completely breaking and going crazy, I think it's a great thing. But if you think sometimes it gets too much and you need, to release, it's best to just release it. What I can tell you from experience, even though I don't practice it, I'm a really bad student, you shouldn't be too hard on your body, on your emotions, on your intellect, and in your spirit. Because this is not a journey that's going to be completed overnight or over the next 50 nights or 1,000 nights. It's going to be around you until the day you die. If you're able to give your suffering meaning that helps you feel and think well and just be a decent human being, don't look for a remedy, because the moment you find remedy for your suffering, remedy in the sense that then you become casual, you become callous, you become privileged, and then you become forgetful. At Tar in Mantabotair, or the Conference of the Birds, through the voice of Seymour, this bird that is kind of inviting all these other birds to follow him, he says that there are times where the spiritual path just exhausts your body and exhausts your mind and exhausts your intellect. And it's a must for you to break your fast. Just go out there, let your body relax, you let your emotions relax, you let your mind relax. Just don't stay in there for too long. That may cause you forgetfulness. Once you've had enough, continue with your quest. You want to be silent and not talk to anyone for like 20 days, that's fine. But when you come to realize that it's just wearing you out, go out there and have a good time. There is this wonderful story about Idris Shah, that he was in his room for about 3 weeks just writing, never left his room, never saw anyone. And he said there came a point after 3 weeks of staying in my room, I thought I was just going to go crazy. So I went out for a walk for about 2 hours. When I went back home, I was refreshed. It's good to know your capacities.